Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are bringing back Throwback Thursday, the first one for 2019. I am continuing the series. I really do like it. I think it's a good shop my stash style video, which I appreciate because I am doing a project pan for this year like I did last year. My project is definitely a lot smaller this year, which is more manageable, but I still feel like it's good to do sort of a shop my stash where I can just make a point to focus on certain products more than I would maybe otherwise, because they'll be right next to my vanity and I can see them a little bit better. Some people do this with their entire collection. I just kind of have everything in drawers all together basically, so it doesn't really make sense for me. That's just kind of how my setup is. But I like the idea of picking out some products each month to focus on. So if you've never seen this series before, that's basically what this is. I call it Throwback Thursday because a lot of the times they're products that are not new. I certainly put some, anything that's new in this basket over here. I have this basket where I put my Project Pan items, I put the Throwback Thursday ones, and then if I get some new things that I want to kind of play with, test out, I'll put them in that basket as well, just because it's right out here. I can just visualize what I need to use a little bit more. And I didn't do this in January just because I felt like with the holidays and with finishing up my Project Pan items from 2018, I didn't really get a lot of chance to focus on the Throwback Thursday items, and so I wanted to just kind of extend it one more month and start this back up in February. So here we are. So basically I will go through the products that I did for the last 2 months, and then I will tell you about the products that I'm going to add in for this next month. Sometimes I'll roll products over, sometimes I will not at all. It just sort of depends, but typically I stick to about 5 products. I may not always stick to that amount. I've thought about that. I think 5 is just a good number, and to not overwhelm myself with too many things. But of course, the goal of this is not to finish anything up. It's not panning. It's just to give a little bit more attention to certain things. And sometimes it may be something that I love and it's not like I need help loving it. It's just that I want to focus on it a little bit more for that month. That's really all this is. I can certainly use other things. I wouldn't do this kind of a challenge if I couldn't use other things, because I love to just kind of play through my collection. And that's also why I don't do like an official shop my stash, because I like to be able to just think, hey, what palette do I want to use today? What lipstick do I want to use today? And have my entire collection to choose from. So it's just that I'm trying to give these products a little bit more attention. That's really all this is. So now that I've kind of given you an overview, in case you haven't seen this on my channel before, let's talk about the products that I focused on for the last 2 months. So the first thing is an eyeshadow palette. I did a palette bingo with this eyeshadow palette because I've been really trying to use this guy. I did better. I don't think that I did amazing with it. I also got a decent amount of new palettes during the holiday season because just a lot of great ones were coming out. So that was part of it for sure. So it was good that I had an extra month to pay attention to it. But this is the Saharan by Juvia's, and this is definitely my least favorite of the Juvia's Place palettes that I have. I just don't really love the color scheme. I will say that I've been getting a lot more into cooler tones lately. I've been wearing more of those than warm tones. So that's kind of part of it. You definitely have some cooler tones in here, but what I mentioned was that I feel like they're kind of out of place. You can see I'm wearing this palette on my eyes today, and so I use this Kia shade on my lower lash line. I don't know, it's just a weird shade in there to me. I feel like this shade is weird in there as well. They're beautiful shades, and they perform just as well as the other Juvia's Place palettes that I have. I just don't feel inspired by this palette. I feel confused by this palette. I don't know, this is one that, I don't know if I could ever get rid of any of my Juvia's Place palettes, but if I did, it would definitely be this one. I don't know. This one, if there's anyone in my life who wanted this, I would probably happily give it away just because it's really not one of my favorites. I had to really push myself to use it. And you don't really want to feel that way about your makeup. I want to enjoy putting on my makeup. That's what's fun to me. And I don't know. I didn't have that much fun putting this on today. I like the way it turned out. I don't think it's anything revolutionary, but yeah, I'm ready to just put this one back in my collection and move on to something else. What I have on my lids right there is this L'Oreal Infallible shadow. These, it just says they're eyeshadow. I don't know if what their actual name was, but this is in the shade Amber Rush, and this is a beautiful, you can see it a little bit better there and obviously on my lids. It's a beautiful shade. You know, with a lot of my single shadows, you'll see this if you've never seen this series before. I do add in a lot of single shadows just because I feel like they do get forgotten in my collection a lot of the time when, you know, especially when I'm pulling out palettes and things like that. You know, I have to sort of think about it a little bit more to pull out either a pigment or a pressed eyeshadow or something like that to add in. So that's why I'm trying not to really buy too many more of things like this, just because I just do better with palettes. I like palettes, and sometimes it's just easy to pick up a palette and just do a look start to finish, you know? And even if you have to pull in like a brow bone shade or a highlight shade, that's easier to think about because you know you're gonna add in that step. But to remember to add in like an eyeshadow that's separate from that palette can be hard. But this is a beautiful one. I'm glad that I have it in my collection because it is stunning, and every time I use it, I'm blown away by the quality of it, and there's so much product in here. It's like a pressed pigment. But yeah, I felt really good about how much I use this time. Then I have a blush, and this is actually the one product that I am going to roll over because I feel like I didn't get great use of this one. This is the Clinique Cheek Pop blush in Berry Pop. It's a beautiful bright pink shade. It is a stunning blush and it is very pigmented. You do not need a lot of this. I think part of the reason I didn't use this a whole lot was because whenever I would think to use my Throwback Thursday items, like that eyeshadow palette, that is a lot of warm tones, and this just didn't really go with that so well for me. I don't know. And then when I would use other things, I'd kind of just forget to use this. So I think I'll do better with this one when you see the eyeshadow palette that I'm adding in this time. And I just want to give this a little bit more attention because it's a beautiful blush. I also have the shade Nude Pop. These are fabulous blushes, and Clinique is really pretty fairly priced. It's still high end, but it's a little bit lower on the scale. And if you're looking for good blushes, these are beautiful. Then I had 2 lip products in, and I think I did pretty well with those. So the first one is the Makeup Monsters liquid lipstick in the shade Sedona. Now, Makeup Monsters is now called Menagerie Cosmetics. They actually haven't had liquid lipsticks for a while since they changed their brand, but they're coming out with new ones soon. So if you're interested in trying them, maybe they'll be like this formula, which was a great formula, and I really do enjoy it. I will say that I just haven't been wearing liquid lipsticks a lot recently. I'm kind of moving away from them in a big way. I still have plenty that I love, and there's a time and a place for it for me, but I just feel like a satiny or glossy lip, and even just like a matte bullet lipstick, looks a lot more flattering on me as I'm getting older. I mean, I've always kind of had liney lips, but I just feel like it looks much more glowy and youthful, and it just looks a lot better on me. So I haven't been wearing liquid lipsticks a lot, but this is a really, really good formula. I do love this one. So I feel pretty good about the use that I got of this one, and I will be keeping it. And I'm actually going to add in another liquid lipstick in this one. So you'll see what that one is in just a few minutes. So then I had the lip gloss, the ABH lip gloss in the shade Metallic Rose. It's a beautiful shade. I did decently with this one. I think I did pretty well. You know, I could always do better with some of these things, but I do love this gloss, and it's one of those that is so pigmented that you can wear it. You know, obviously you can use any lip gloss on its own, but this is one that just has enough pigment that you don't need a lipstick underneath if you want color. That's what I'm saying. So beautiful lip gloss. I do love the ABH lip glosses. All right, so then let's talk about the products that I'm gonna add in for this month. So obviously I have that Clinique blush that we talked about. Then I'll show you, I'm gonna add in another eyeshadow palette, and I had mentioned that I was gonna add this one in. So this is the Juvia's Place Masquerade mini palette. So they have a larger one, if you can believe it. So this is what it looks like. It's a great palette. It's definitely one of my favorites from Juvia's Place, just because there's so many options. You've got great, beautiful neutrals down there, and then beautiful, colorful shades, obviously. I will say that I don't get a whole lot of use out of the bottom because whenever I pull for this palette, it's when I want to use color. So I want to try and challenge myself to use some more of those shades because they are really beautiful. I do love the quality of Juvia's Place eyeshadows. They are fabulous. So if you want to see me do a palette bingo with this one, I had done that for the last 2 palettes that I put in, then let me know. I don't know. I think it's beautiful. I'm excited to play with it more, and I think that Clinique blush will go nicely with some of the looks that I can create with this one. I'm also adding in a single eyeshadow. This is the Urban Decay eyeshadow. What did they call these? It doesn't say what it was called, but there were these single eyeshadows that were almost like pressed glitters a little bit. This is in the shade Solstice. It's one of those beautiful shades that just shifts like, oh, do you see that? it's just gorgeous. And again, because it's a single, I don't get as much use out of it, but it's beautiful. And I think that it can go well with some of those colorful shades. So I'm excited to play with that some more. The regular lipstick that I'm going to add in this time, because I wanted to add in 2 lip products, this is the Bite Lipstick in Meringue. I do love this lipstick, and I would say that I've gotten good use out of it. You can see, I mean, I've gotten pretty good use out of it. It's just a good kind of just basic pinky shade. I think it will go with a lot of looks. Same thing with the other lipstick that I chose. And it's not that I really need too much extra attention on this one because I've used it really well, but these Bite lipsticks are pretty natural as far as like lip products go. So I don't want to forget about it. I want to make sure and use it well so that it doesn't go bad. But it's a beautiful shade, and the formula of these Bite lipsticks are amazing if you're looking for a good bullet lipstick. And then the other one, I also am kind of trying to figure out how I feel about this. That's partly why I want to add it in. This is the Pixi by Petra matte, what is that? I can't see what that says. Matte Last Liquid Lip in Pastel Petal. It's a beautiful shade. You can see, let me swatch it next to the other one. And it's got like a great doe foot that has like a point to it so you can apply it really easily. It's another good nude, but it's a little more of like a cool tone pinky nude. And so I love the shade, I know that. And I remember liking this when I used it, but I don't totally remember. And again, now that I'm kind of getting a little bit away from liquid lipsticks, I need to figure out how I feel about this one and see if this is one that I would want to keep as I'm trying to pare down my liquid lipstick collection a little bit. So I'm excited to play with this one and see how I feel about it now and just get a little bit more use out of it. All right, everyone, so that is it for this month's Throwback Thursday. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything that you want to see as far as these products throughout the month. I'm just going to be kind of playing with them behind the scenes, but let me know if there's anything that you want to see. If you like this video, please make sure and give it a big thumbs up. That really does help out my channel so much. I post videos every single Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around, and I really hope to see you next time. Bye.